Hello guys, so what's up? How are you doing? Long time no see. Uh, well, I'd just like to anyhow. I was wanting to discuss something. I wanted to, like always, let a thought, let something, some idea, something that an opinion, out in the wild, out in the open. So you can see that I'm actually in a setup. I'm wearing a hood and I'm kind of in a dark, in a shady place. It's not like just because tall, because I just happen to be like a shy person, and that's about it. It's not because I'm here to propagate something. I'm here for, like spreading some ideas and causing some disturbances and things like that, and all or anything like that. I'm not here to do anything bad or vicious. It's just that I'm here to share ideas. I'm a little shy person, and guess I got something to share and just wanted to have out in the world. There has been people maybe 100 years before used to write books for if they had an idea. These days you have this YouTube and all that, yeah, digital media and all that. So I like to make use of that, but at the same time, it's not about me. I don't want to publicize myself or make myself famous, put myself out there. People get to know me or anything like that. I don't want to be famous or popular. It's not like I can do without it or anything. It's not like I'm rich or famous or multimillionaire, trying to have alter ego kind of profile or something like that. But still, in case if you're wondering why this guy is always in a hood in a dark corner, it's not about. It's just that I want to go about doing my business in a regular way or something like that. I mean, I'm not expecting myself to become famous whatever I do. I usually don't get any recognition. I stop expecting recognition. In fact, as a matter of fact, I'm just a regular guy. No. Yeah. So, but I think I have these ideas that I share in my YouTube channel. I just think they're worth being noted, by some people. Maybe might just want to get it out into the world. Maybe useful for somebody at some point of time. Everything has to have a context, you see. If it loses the context, good ideas become bad, sound bad, and bad ideas even sound good. They give you some ideas, and it could help somebody. So, way it goes. I mean, you cannot really get into all that nuances and intricacies every time you open your mouth and things like that. It's just not. I mean, you have to be, a fortune teller for that, right? Nobody's that fortune teller. Nobody's Superman. Nobody can see through or something like that. Nobody's Adam and things like that. Nobody's Vision. Nobody's an X-Men or something like that. But anyway, yeah. I mean, I know like it could have any. I do expect all the negative things, Like I do. I mean, I kind of have to be careful of the backlash or anything, because people could misinterpret something. And although I'm not intending anything dangerous or anything, but still, I'm not actually propagating any kind of missionary cause or trying to evangelize anything, trying to convert people or anything. So it's just an idea, because I think people deserve better. That's it. That's all of it. Humanity deserves better. Okay. Maybe if somebody happens to talk about it, you may find your voices supporting this idea, or maybe you'd say, "Oh, well, I watched a YouTube video yesterday. Some guy was expressing this view." So, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it sounded good, or maybe I like some people, something. I mean, like the powers that be or things. Like to try that out, like to try it out or something like that. So I just wanted people to think about it. Yes, I was just trying to direct my fan towards me. With all this hood, it's not actually really winter, or it's not really cold. I just don't want really expose myself too much, because as it is, like I said, I don't have any expectation, nor do I have any great expectations. I mean, I'm not looking for any miracle to happen or something. Out of people might judge you cannot say how they judge. They can judge any way they want. You don't want to put yourself out there. And that's one thing. So yeah, it's not, I mean, you can judge what I'm trying to say, but you don't have to judge the person, right? You can judge, if you judge what I'm trying to say, it's about you. You can judge it whichever way you want. I'm not going to do any restriction or anything. I'm not like, it's not really that I'm trying to be anonymous or anything. My channel name actually pretty much says my name, pretty much has it. Quite a bit, you could say. It's not all that anonymous. It's not about being anonymous. It's just that. It's not about something bigger than what I think is bigger than who I am or what I look like. So, anyways, just for discussion, just for a topic. It's an opinion. I just want to get it out there into the world. Maybe I may not even know. I may not even know with what shape it takes, or if it's getting noticed or anything like that. I don't really, but I think it's a beautiful idea. I think it's a good idea. People should start thinking in that direction. Maybe they already are. Well, if they already are, I'd just like to be one more person, right? So it doesn't matter how I look or what my real name is. I don't really care. As long as talking from my YouTube account, that much is genuine. It's not VPN or anything. It's not, it's not second party, third party, or anything like that. I don't know. I don't really know all that technicalities. Why bother? So actually, yeah, as today's topic or today's idea or matter of subject matter, what I wanted to share is that I feel long time. I mean, I actually had these ideas many years ago. I just happened to share them. Like, I've been postponing them because, like I said, I'm a shy person. Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't be bragging about being shy or anything, but that's fact. So, the idea is, personally, I mean, there are some actually activities that is going out there, that's happening out there. I'm a little aware of, but that has nothing to do with what I'm having to say. But even if it does, I just like to clarify. And yeah, the thing is, I feel that in the mode or in the process of urbanization, and in my particular city, in my country, so to speak. Politically, there is an idea, or there is some, vision, or some kind of manifestation. There's, political people party have manifestos. So there's a promise of modernizing cities. And as far as that goes, I just feel, essentially, first of all, I feel there are many ancient cities in my country, and those ancient cities should not be rapidly or randomly, blindly, widely, indifferently, modified just because we had the fund, we said so, we are promising, we're delivering, we kept our word, it's honorable. Okay, yes, it is honorable to keep up your word. But yeah, your people might just, people are just, they're like they get into a frenzy. They see something new. It's like a fad. It becomes a trend, and people are they just they don't not everybody, and at least you could say, randomly or roughly, 90% of the people actually, I don't think they evaluate. That's my opinion. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I'll give you that. Open window for myself and everyone out there. But 90%, let's just say, if supposing there is some locality which is actually an ancient city, and it is in the part of the promise for modernization. Modernization of is a part of like the urban development metropolis ministry or something, cabinet. It's not very likely to happen anytime soon. Maybe in another 80 years, or maybe in another 25 years, it's going to happen. I would say first of all, if it's an ancient city, it is already and still it is a very bustling, hustling, very much a happening city. I would personally say there must be a lot of like Rome or something. There's a Colosseum there, and yeah, there's aqueduct and all that, all these Roman structures, Anno Domini before Christ and all that. I personally think that there has to be intensive archaeological research on a using scientific technologies on a satellite level, on an astronomical and environmental and atmospheric, ionospheric, biospheric, on like a bird view. I mean, technologies. I'm not actually talking about drones. I'm talking about satellites. I'm talking about X-rays. I'm talking about detecting minerals and oil fields and things like that. Some things that penetrate, where you can actually do geological. Paleological, or I guess. You can say that there is a dinosaur. There are a lot of heap of dinosaur eggs or dinosaur bones, a lot of fossils underneath 90 feet away or 9 feet away or maybe just 50 feet away. There has to be these studies conducted. If it's a very happening city, and if it's an ancient city, and the history of that city, so-called, and you know, for example, city, uh, goes back, let's say, 500 to 900 years back. In my country, there are a lot of ancient cities that are almost thousands and more than 2,000 years old. But these cities are also very happening cities, and still very happening cities. They had a very electrifying history, a very active, dynamic history. It was very always in, busy. It was always in the crossroads of everything that was happening in the entire country. Yeah. So, and it's still a very happening city, just modernized. After globalization, it didn't lose any relevance, but their modernization is still happening. But when they are happening, they sometimes reach a river, sometimes reach a coastline, sometimes reach a mountain, sometimes reach a jungle that were pretty much outskirts, out of the boundary limits or something. And these boundary limits, they just get a certification or authorization from the legal jurisdiction court and things like that. These happen today, but as the expansion happens, I would say there has to be a very intensive archaeological survey conducted. I mean, not just for the name of it, not just for the record. It should actually, in fact, made use of all the satellite technologies. Satellite technologies. I wouldn't put a cap on it. Like ionosphere, troposphere, any sphere. You just go to the rockets. You just go, from anywhere, from outer space, whatever the technology that you use to find out if there are mineral deposits. There is paleological evidences. Even if you dig, okay, you dig. If you're actually looking, use drones. You use drones. You use some kind of microwaves, Wi-Fi signals, or like satellite beams or something, radio signals. You do that, but make sure that you are not disturbing any ancient structure or a piece of history in the process. Because once you start drilling and digging, you might there may be, it is possible that people may be very honest, and they would like to submit whatever they find into the museum of their relevant country. But most of the time that doesn't happen. They just sell it in the black market. So they'll do that anyway, I understand. But sometimes it is that much small. Sometimes it happens to be an earthen pot, maybe with the copper coins, gold coins, silver coins, bronze coins, brass coins, artifacts, some armor, some steel, rusted steel, some mummification perhaps, or something. These things can be teleported easily. But what if there is a kind of a great bath, a structure that was made of limestone, like a pyramid or something, that is very huge granites. Even those sometimes, I would say, they do get ignored. And of course, I wouldn't say Dinosaur fossils is an exception. Dinosaur eggs is an exception. They also get, they either get, they don't get detected. People don't know anything about it. People are too illiterate and not educated to know anything about it. Maybe it's not a dinosaur. Maybe it's a turtle, ancient big turtle, and they thought they found something like a, I don't know, plastic. These days plastic. I mean, so anyway, I guess you get it. Um, it could, I mean, even if you dig 50 feet and you find a huge turtle shell of something that is almost 500, 5,000 years old, people might still think it's plastic because that's all they know. They don't know any better. You cannot blame them. But then the authorities, they could still try to get it tested. And yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about corruption. I'm just talking about human nature. The way it goes. They can think whatever they want. They can decide whatever they want. Questioning authority and taking authority matters into their own hands. It's just fact of matter. It just happens. It happens in this place, that place. It happens only in this case, that situation, on this season, only when it's winter, when it's summer. There's no such thing. It's just human nature to be like that. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about any government's specific, particular government's corruption or anything. I'm not blemishing or, trying to insult anything. Trying to point out or whatever. Talking anything ill about, bad about system. Or I'm just generally talking about human nature all around the world. Not in my country, not in neighboring country, not in the next some other country. Just human nature. So that is possible. So, with the urbanization, when it comes to modernization, modern cities, and projects of modernizing cities, this is what I'd like to say. Just like to say, yeah. I won't even say I like to suggest or something because I'm not that much of a big man. Even professionally. So that's one thing. And what I actually intended to say, what I began to talk about was about the villages. What I might say now may sound very radical, may sound very absurd, stupid. I don't care. But I mean, yeah, because the way I see villages, they are rather pathetic. They lost their way. That's what I like to say. I mean, we're talking about ancient cities. And there is a village outside. It has some old relic of worshipping site and things like that. There are some religious structure that's dilapidated, that's broken. I hope it's getting recorded. So yeah, I was pressing my mobile on myself on my body, so I don't know if the sound is getting recorded or something. So about the villages, I see that they're really pathetic and they're lost their way. There's nothing you can, I mean, you don't blame the people for it. You could say they're a little conscious at the moment, and they're not really conscious about what they're losing, what they have lost. They're very much at the moment. They're like every day they're treating every day as it comes. They're very practical, genuine, and laborious people, hardworking, workaholic, and very well-meaning people. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So they're basically good people. They're not very bad people are almost like anywhere you could find them. But in the villages, even the bad people could be proved to be a little innocent. They're not educated. They don't really know how way things work outside their village. Once they leave their village, they're just as innocent as any lamb, but they're lost in the woods or lost in space, kind of. So it's not about that anyway, but still, so villages, I would say, villages should always be left out of any kind of modernization or plans of urbanization or any kind of a technological advance. Yeah, it sounds really strange, radical, or it just sounds like I'm talking off my head. But if I look at the villages, they are caught in the middle of nowhere. They're neither in the present, nor in the past, nor in the future. and they're confused. But what I'd like to say is something actually I believe, I think is very, I mean, it's good. I mean, the idea of what I'm able to visualize is actually a good, I mean, like, uh, scenery or something like that for the villages. The villages, when I say villages must be kept out of technological advances, I really don't mean all of it. The thing is, there has to be a very strict regimen of moderation, moderating this modernization. What I feel is villages, they can afford to be, they can afford to be. I'm not talking about like they have to be frozen in time. I'm not saying that. They have to have the best roads. They have to have the best, like transportation, roadways, railways, all the connectivity. They have to have the best. But they cannot get to a point where they have all this. Every house has a drone, and you have to, manage the traffic, air traffic of the drones, and you can never say what these drones might do. And you have this, microwave signal towers that that gets the birds away. I mean, there has to be some. This is actually like losing sanity. What I say is, villages have to be like an escapade. You escape to the village. It has to be like a retreat, a summer retreat or winter retreat, a place where you can just breathe natural fresh air, no pollution. It has to be kept in a serene, pristine atmosphere. In a transition. Not exactly in a transition, but I would say, I'm not saying that they should not have telephones. I'm not saying they should not have mobile phones. But they should not have really high frequency mobile towers. They should have just the bare minimum, let's say 2G towers. I mean, even if they had a tower, they should not every house should have its own tower, and it should not go beyond their bathrooms. From the drawing room to the bathroom, it should not go beyond that. I mean, that's like almost like a privacy, That's your limit. You have the parapet wall, you have the compound wall. In between houses, you have the fences. You have, I don't know what you call it. Here we call it compound wall, and in between the houses, you have a wall, you have a fencing. And you should not. That's your signal. You use this signal, but that is encased. That is only if you really want a mobile phone. But what is the point of having such a phone? I would say, well, you just be happy with the landline. But then, I mean, solar panels is allowed. Having solar panels and having to generate your own electricity is allowed. They may have. I mean, it's not like they should really not entertain having television in villages. Really not entertain. They might have a theater, and theater like physical theater. They might have a screen. They can have the projector kind of. I'm not saying they. I mean, whatever I'm saying sounds like I'm intending to say. I'm meaning that they have to be frozen in time, but that's not what I want. I want to say that look at the birds. You know how many birds there were in this city? I'm in a capital city of a state. You know how many birds there were when I was 20 years ago? I mean, forget my age. 20 years ago, there were so many birds. They're all gone. So many species, types of birds. They're all gone. Where do they go? I mean, they're all gone because, I mean, I don't even see crows these days. Even crows are rare to see because of all these Wi-Fi signals and low frequency sound, and so a lot of sound pollution, the air pollution, the water pollution, the farm pollution, even the farms, because of the pesticides. No food, no fruit, no vegetable is safe to eat. No fish. The fish that is being sold for consumption, the dead fish, is not safe to eat. Even if the crow scavenges on these fish, the crow probably, I don't know what happens to the crow, but the crows, even they have reduced in numbers. The coil or the cuckoo, they say, is a lazy bird. Only I see them. I'm able to see them. I don't see any sparrows. All the six sisters, the bulbul. I mean, from what I'm, pointing, you could say where I'm coming from, but that's not the point, right? And it's just like the plastic pollution of the sea where the turtles are suffocating. They eat on plastic bags thinking it's a jellyfish and it's too late for them. They choke on it and all that. But we're also doing, it's happening to us. I mean, you have to take this as a, I won't say omen, but you have to take this as a signal. You know, there are no frogs, there are no lizards, there are no, I mean, I won't go to the extreme of saying there are no snakes, but it is not there. There used to be a live, dynamic, and active ecosystem, but that ecosystem is not there. You don't, when it's raining, there are no frogs. I mean, of course, I'm happy that there are no rodents. The rodents have reduced, but I don't know. It's not like they're gone. They have not left the city. They're just somewhere in the city, but the frogs are gone. The lizards, I mean, the garden lizards are gone. The geckos are there. Maybe there's just not. They're not big anymore. They're not frightening and scary. They're all small. They don't have a lifespan, and dogs are just breeding like crazy. You know. And it's not peaceful, and it's not at all. No, I mean, even if and people-to-people contact is reduced to an, I would say, abysmal. I mean, I mean, 20 years ago, I would not have said that I don't know who my neighbor is. I mean, they changed. I mean, they shifted and they went somewhere, and I really don't know who my neighbors are. I still don't know, as a matter of fact. They don't bother to tell us. And I mean, the number of neighbors who have changed in the last 5 years, I mean, it should be striking if I said there has been 5 neighbors. I mean, we had 5 different families as our neighbor in the last 5 years from the same direction, in the same, you know, like flats, the same building. I'm talking about the same building. In 5 years, we have had 5 different families as our neighbors. I mean, we have no idea who they were. I mean, it's not. I mean, you may think that what is he talking about? Is this not privacy? It's not about privacy. It's about security. You know. You know, you should not suddenly have police knocking on your door and asking, you know, this man. We have information that this guy was residing next to in the next door, and you have no idea who he is. Of course, you're safe, but you know, but at the same time, you should be able to lock your door and go out somewhere for about 2 or maybe 12 hours and still be able to trust in your neighbors, right? You cannot say, oh, I don't know who my neighbors are. I cannot simply just go and knock at him and ask him where my bicycle is. I'm sure he would not have taken. I cannot accuse him without knowing who stole my bicycle, but my bicycle is stolen. That cost me $8,000. I mean, let's just put a random currency on it. Okay, let's say it's 8,000 or 12,000. My bicycle is gone. I wonder what I should do. Should I go to the police? And if the police ask, who do you suspect? I don't know. Pretty much anybody. I mean, doesn't. I mean, okay, yeah, you would say, oh, you should have a CCTV. I mean, there has to. That's where you're losing people-to-people contact, and that's where you're just engaged in social media. You don't know what it means, and I mean, if you don't get likes, you're upset. You don't get react, you're upset. You don't get shares, you're upset. You don't get comments, you're upset. And over and about that, it's monetized. I mean, you really think your life is heading somewhere? I mean, you call this a life? I mean, I would say a buffalo outside is having a better life than that. Okay? It doesn't say, oh, I don't know who the next buffalo standing next to me is. I probably think he is, I don't know. No, it's not that ignorant. It's not, you cannot be ignorant of your own surrounding in any place for that matter. Whether you're living there for 5 years, whether you're living there for 25 years, or since the day you were born, since you saw the sun on your face. I mean, you may not be aware, but not in some countries there are some special occasions in an year there are special occasions, 5 special occasions, 10 special occasions. Some just have a minimum of 3. Like I could say, Palm Sunday, Good Friday, Christmas, Halloween, New Year. That's it. But of course, they go to the church, they socialize, they go to a religious gathering, a place of worship. But even there, they're not supposed to. They don't really. You don't. You just gather. You gather. Oh, even if you, let's say you had a conversation with someone for 45 minutes, it's a big deal. You just broke a record. But then you go back home. You don't know who your neighbors are. You don't know where they're gone. You don't know whether you can see that they're shifting. Whether they are coming or going, they're settling down, or they're just leaving. Why are they leaving? Do they have any problem? Is it a water problem? Is it a mosquito problem? Did they just contact any disease that they're leaving? And should we be able to tell someone where they left in case somebody came up asking us where they left? The basic thing is, it's not beyond. These days you have this privacy. 20 years back, it was not so kind of westernized, if I can take the liberty to say that. It was not westernized. Culturally and naturally, we had people-to-people contact. People-to-people contact, I think, is as basic, elementary, and essential as eating food with your hands, or writing with your hands, exercising with your hands. You go to the gym, you do just that dumb cycling. It's exercise to your legs, but you still hold the handlebar with your hands, right? You do nothing with it's not an exercise for your hands, but you still hold the handlebar. It's like staying in touch with reality. You being ground on the. You have your feet to the ground. But anyway, that's not all actually. What I'm trying to say is, a village has to be like a spa, a mental retreat, a green, peaceful community where people-to-people contact, people trust each other. They know people who are in the fifth house on the opposite side, and they know the 3 people in the next side and the left side, and people trust each other. But they know they could help out. They also help out each other. That's how it used to be. That you call that a community. But these days you have to engineer these things. You should be, really think, just by this is how villages are. In villages, this is how people are. They may have a huge football field, a grazing area in between for sheep and their cows, but still they know who the person or the family is on the other side. If they have an uncle, if they are somebody's grandfather, somebody's parents, they may even know if they have a tractor, if they have a truck, if they have a pickup truck. If we wanted a pickup truck, can we go and ask them? And things like that. And even like I would go to a further extent and to say that in villages we had bullock carts and horse carts. Although I personally don't like to touch anything other than like another human or something. I'm not a pet guy. I'm not a dog person. I'm not a cat person. Anything like that. But still, I would say I see the benefit of having an animal, or at least having a pet fish, having a pet owl, pet parrot. I know. I would say that is more important than living a life without knowing what you're missing out on. And that's That's not worth it. At least you know what you're missing out on. You're conscious, but it's just that you also understand that you're not made for it. You're not the right type. You're not. It unsettles you to have a dog, or it unsettles you to have a cat. That's understandable. But then you're living like you're in a castaway island. You don't call that a choice. Okay, that's not a choice. That's a mental decapacitation, right? Yeah. I mean, let's just say I put it lightly. Okay. So a village, I would say, should have every house should have their own solar panel to generate their own electricity apart from the public facility of like whatever the optic fiber and all that, the power cables or underground cable. It has to be, I mean, whatever the primitive kind of drainage system they had, it would be clean. It can be clean. It would not be like people got into the drainage, they started cleaning, and they suffocated to death right there. And people don't know if the guy who went inside to clean it is alive or not. And people who want to rescue has to be another person who has no idea if he would come back alive. And you don't call this urbanization. In some cases, this is like the transition period from the second world to the first world. Or this happens when the third world people are living in the villages, primitive. I mean, it's not about dishonoring someone as being primitive. They're just being a lot more simple and a lot more sensible. They have not living within their means. They have not killed anything. I mean, killed in the sense some people, since simply because they're rich, they go hunting, poaching. They do like trophy hunting. These people don't do that. They have a horse cart. They have a bullock cart. They have a dog to keep check on their sheeps, cattle, livestock. They're very much within their means. They have their own poultry of stock of hens and chickens, not for just for the to have some eggs if they want, unfertilized eggs, by the way. But, okay, and I mean you cannot really. I mean these you have, it's like a spa. These like a like retreat island where people actually, like Maldives and maybe Singapore, people go to these, like Hawaii. People go you don't have to go. You have villages. That's how it should be, they will have a Mount Fuji right there. It will be scenic, and it will have fresh air. It will have no pollution, no sound. People trust each other. There is no suspicion or something. There is no like a major criminal activity going on. Nothing at all. You don't have the basic technology to facilitate any kind of cyber crime. Oh, your privacy. Oh, what privacy? I mean, it should not become. I mean, it should not be too obvious. Just another day. One more cyber crime case complaint being lodged. No, it's not. I mean, I'm not saying it's like an utopia or anything. I mean, I'm not saying that even if the village happened to be next to let's say copper mine or coal mine, it should not be dug. They should not be exploited. It's not like that. I mean, basically, if you see a farmer is one who understands that the food is coming from not from the table or from the kitchen. He understands it coming from the land. It comes from the soil. He has to dig. He has to do the burrows and ridges. He has to take care of the bulls, the cows. He has to take care of the equipments that are made of carpentry, wood, or steel. He has to take care of that. He has to customize, prioritize everything. Everything else other than himself or herself first. So that farmer will suddenly understand if somebody comes to him and says, you are actually having a cornfield, but actually we think we seem to have a very strong indication that there can be oil under this field, the property that's, if supposing they are owning it, the farmer is owning it, you could say, we suspect there is a high likeliness of oil, or we say some authorities come up and say we really suspect there is a high likeliness of a diamond or silver or copper or limestone or marble right in your property about 80 feet or 20 feet below. I don't think a farmer is going to say no, because it raises the value of the land he's owning. And he's been toiling, and I mean, maybe he's doing willingly. It won't be toiling if he's doing it willingly every day. Yeah, it's like a daily morning chore. He starts his day with tilling the soil and things like that. It's like occupation. He's doing it willingly. He likes to do it. Otherwise, he would say he'd find it life very boring and unpleasant and things like that. He'll go crazy without doing it. I mean, he got so used to it and things like that. But he would understand. Okay, yeah, I was. Let's just say, okay, I was providing the society, providing the community with corn, and they used to make corn syrup, or maybe like, corn oil, or they used to, put it back into the soil as manure to get dry and decompose and things like that. Okay, now I guess my land might have some more to give to the society. And a farmer, although it reduces his chances of providing something to eat and something to consume biologically for every human and every animal, he would perfectly understand that the land, somebody's not coming here to take something out of his body. He was the crops were being cultivated and harvested from the land, and now the land, they say, it has some property in it. I mean, it's a property of the land, like it's a characteristic, or it's something like the land has something to offer. And after that, of course, it's up to him whether he wants to take advantage of it or make benefit from it. He wants to make use of it in any way he wants. But basically, even if it's about giving back to the people, I mean, offering his services, his labor, his physical fitness to the, giving it back to the community. But if he was doing that, he was satisfied in that sense by doing farming. He would completely understand. You see, the crops were coming from the soil. Well, guess it's if his property, if his land is having iron ore, then so be it. Yeah, I mean, not only the land is going to get more value, and I'm also going to be an owner of a, some kind of a well, which is going to give water. Even he will be happy even if there is water in his land. So why won't he be happy if there is something more valuable? Even if it is a piece of history like a dinosaur or something, why won't he? Yeah, he will. I mean, he will just give it away and get a cash back. Monetize compensation if it is a dragon egg or something like that. If it's a piece of history, let's say if it's a pirate's treasure or something like that. And I mean, that's how Venus de Milo, I guess. Venus de Milo was found while a farmer was plowing his field, right? Something like that. I hope I'm right. So, yeah. So it's not like I'm not saying that the people should protest. They have to be backward, and they should not allow mining to happen, even if they find diamonds, if they find Kimberly, or something like that. Even if they find some kind of like water, pure water. Distilled water or something like that. The farmer, it should be left alone. It should be still simply remain natural. I'm not saying all that. I'm just saying it has to. I mean, pristine. It has to be a state of sanctity. Whatever assures and guarantees sanctity. A village should be. If somebody's going insane, they should not worry about, oh my God, I'm going crazy, I'm forgetting things, and I'm easily being put off. I'm easily being put off, and I'm forgetting things. I'm going crazy. I'm yelling at people. I'm getting mad. I'm getting upset. I'm losing memory. Oh, I don't. I'm losing sleep. I don't know what. When I'm driving, I'm not able to concentrate. I'm losing my attention. No problem. You just drive 5 miles, 5 kilometers outside the city. You have a village there. You just go there, and use. I would say, just pay any of those houses $500 a day, or something like that, or in any amount, and just uh, request a kind of a service or some kind of a place to stay from their residents. They will probably offer you some space, maybe the top terrace, which is empty, which may very likely be empty. And you say, I want to spend some of 2-3 days here. I would like to be peaceful. I want to stay away from the hustle bustle of the city. Find it a little disturbing. I would like to just I've taken a vacation, so I've come here. I'll pay for whatever lunch or dinner. I'd just like to use your space in the house, if there is any. If you could accommodate, if there is any accommodation, can you please provide? I mean, the village has to be like I'm not saying frozen in time or anything. It has to be the ideal, perfect place that has not urbanized or lost anything or collapsed, without the knowledge of what it has lost, and something like that. It should not be so backward that people are just roaming around in donkeys and fighting with road dogs, stray dogs, for their food and all that. But at the same time, it should be sufficient enough, it should be well maintained, well provided, that it is still a piece of history. It is there. It is very much part of the life of the people in the city, if not part of the city. It's very much intrinsic, essential, significant, if not integral. It has to be a little. There has to be, like, they say there has to be. I should balance. There has to be a space. Give me some space. There has to at least give me some personal space. I've been through a lot this evening. They say even professional people, they need some space. They're upset about something. They've been thinking about something. They've been trying to solve something. Some kind of a legal case or something. A financial, recovery has happened. So they just like to, need some time alone. But these are, I'm talking about financial recovery, legal, what do you call that? Legal compensations or something like that. You just have it's something that was going on for years. Maybe something that was going on that didn't seem to have any end at sight. Or so maybe you're just, just to have a peace of mind. I'm not saying sacrifice the village. I'm just saying the village are actually very self-sufficient. They are well-meaning people. They really don't know what they're missing. I'm not saying take advantage of that. I'm also saying provide them. Provide them with the basic minimum, so that the life of the birds that is lost in the urban cities, if they are able to, if they are still part of the village, let them be. Keep that. Maintain that. Nurture them. You don't lose the birds. You don't ask the vultures. And the vultures are endangered. You know why? Because of farmers who use chemical pesticides that leave a residue on the plants, and the plants actually give a thriving harvest only for 2 years, because after 2 years these chemical The properties of these chemical pesticides leave a residue on the soil, and the soil loses fertility, and after 2 years there are no thriving, flourishing harvests as before. And there's a lot of losses because the profits or the returns were calculated or estimated on the returns on the estimates were made on the assumption that the harvest will be consistent to those first 2 years of using the chemical pesticides, but it's not so. They leave back residue, and the rats and the mice that eat these crops, which they do naturally, not out of any vengeance or something, and the rats die, and the vultures eat these dead rats, and the rats are eaten by snakes, and the snakes die, and the vultures come and eat the snakes, and the vultures die, and there's an endangerment of these vultures. Can you imagine that? It's actually a signal. It's not an omen. It's nothing religious. It is. I mean, you could say the life cycle, the dwindling, the receding of ecosystem. So if the rats die immediately, the snakes die sometime later, and the vultures die sometime sooner after that. How long do you have? How long you think you have? And villages should also be a place where you can, like a Netherlands, where you can just cycle fearlessly all the way. It's not about traffic. It's not about speed limits. You can just cycle. You can just walk. Everything. Where any road is a jogging road. You don't need a special park to do jogging. You don't need a special, a river project or something so that you can take your dog to a stroll or something. A village has to be, it has to be like a go back place. It has to be like the birthplace where you can get back to. Like it's sometimes like you go back to your parents and ask for their advice, right? Whether it's financial or relationship wise, whether it's mental, it's physical, it's emotional, it's traumatic, or anything. Even if you're happy, you just go to share it with your parents. You go share it with maybe you share it with your boyfriend, girlfriend, okay. But the village has to be like a retreat. It has to be given its share of, regulated privacy. It's not like I'm not asking you to ignore it. I'm not saying don't give it any railway station. No, let it be. Let them still be breeding cows and horses. No, I'm not saying that. But it has to be like that in a very respectable way, in a way that you're conscious that there is something these things have to offer. There's something we are taking from it. We'll need to experience out of this. There's some, you cannot be sitting in a city which has 100-story building and each story has 5 houses, but there is nobody with whom you can cry. You'll be crying in a big house on the 80th floor or 70th floor, one of the 5 houses, and you don't know if all the 5 houses are occupied. You're probably the only house in the 80th, 70th floor which is occupied, and you're crying in the kitchen or in the bathroom. And even if anybody hears you, nobody's gonna come and ask why you're crying. And you feel, you might as well just jump off the floor. I mean, that's, you see what you're losing out? Even if you do it alone, I would say, and not everybody could afford a spa. Not everybody could afford a Maldives. Not everybody could afford a Hawaii. Everybody could afford a Singapore, Thailand. Everybody can do that, but it's already there. Your piece of Mount Fuji, a replica, decent, maybe not in every way, it's right there, 5 kilometers outside the city. I'm not saying it has to be there, but if it is there, please, villages should be kept away from modernization. Rapid maniacal, blind, wild modernization just for the heck of it, just to have a project and investments. Have a road, have a good road, have a dirt road, have a mud road, have a tar asphalt road, a concrete, rubber road. Have it, have it just. I mean, like, it should be like fine and dandy. Okay, I'm taking 1 hour for this. I didn't think I would take 1 hour for this, but that's what I. I mean, it is said having a cow. I mean, just like having a dog, or a cat, or a fish. A cow is able to sense that you're, of course, just like a dog, but it starts crying. I mean, you might have heard dogs crying after people pass away, or sometimes they don't realize the people are never going to come back. Like in the Japanese railway station story or something like that about a husky, I guess. But they say if you have a cow in the house, you feel calm by default. I heard that somewhere, and I'm not sure if that's true, but that's what I presume people. I mean, I would have heard that. That's what people feel when they have a cow. They feel very peaceful. They don't get angry very often, as much as they would probably. I mean, the situation might demand. I mean, would drive them to very easily. It won't be that fast. Won't be that unconscious and things like that. And they will also have their own milk, which is a real, natural milk. Real natural milk has a lot of fat and all that, but you're supposed to have a fat. There has to be a layer of fat on your muscles and all that. There's some kind of a lubrication sometimes, besides the calcium and other vitamins and all that, whatever it has, vitamins, A, B, C, D, water soluble, fat soluble vitamins, whatever it might have. And like even the flies, like the bees or the wasp, they come around the milk, natural milk, because it has something. It does have something to offer, something to give. The milk is not like okay, it's going through pasteurization, it's going into the incubator, it's going into the boiler, it's going into the freezer, it's going into the acidification compartment, it's going to the diluter. Okay, now it's water, and then you have milk. What? It's as good as pesticide. It's bound to have some side effects. I mean, I'm not sorry for being rude. Very much. But you see, it should not be the rivers of the village should come with a decent guarantee that the fishes of the river that go through the village are 80% clean. But if you got an urbanization, you need like a plant. You need land. You take a lot of land, and then you have you go around it to reach somewhere. As the crow flies, you cannot drive anything as the crow flies in a city, right? But in a village, it would seem that everything is planned. But even if it is not planned, it would be a little simple. It won't have the regular traffic. I mean, it won't have some kind of indecent people. It will have some innocents that sound indecent. They say don't apply to malice what is done out of innocence. You'll have that kind of village people in the village. You won't need a water or sewage treatment plant that take up acres and acres of land, and you have to go around it. And there's a traffic. You lose your mind. You go crazy. You get upset. You start crying in the traffic for no reason. You don't know why. All these things can be avoided. But that means urbanization. You just have your urbanization to your cities. Let the village take its own course and make sure it remains as natural and organic as possible. Don't just like FOMO or something like that. Just do it because the city next 5 kilometers away is having a lot of wires, a lot of fiber optic cables. Oh, we must have a modem. I mean, no, you don't have to have a modem. Okay, even if you have a transmitting 2G, just have a 2G. Don't have 3G. Don't have 4G. It affects the birds. the sound of birds is very peaceful. It gives out poetry. It's poetic. I mean, it sounds like poetry. If you're early in the morning, the sound of birds give you some kind of energy. It gives you some kind of a tranquil peace or something. And you like to go out and see what bird it is and things like that. You get inquisitive. It makes you curious. It makes you want to think. It makes you want to see. It makes you want to wake up. Okay? I mean, invariably or arguably, you're going to just kill birds unconsciously. Unconscious. Okay, you're unconscious as long as it's in the city. That's how it should be, right? Otherwise, you're just killing birds like a program. Like you're playing a video game, a duck hunt or something. What's the point? Today you kill birds, tomorrow you'll kill a crocodile, and the next thing you know it, you know who'll be next, or you don't know who'll be next. I mean, what is the point if you don't know who'll be next? You're human, you have 6 senses, you're supposed to know. At least you're supposed to know, okay, this air is maximum, it reached is saturated, it's polluted. Let me go to the village just 5 kilometers away. I have some kind of a 1.5 day, take a 1.5 day off from a regular job, regular work, and spend some time, happy time there. A natural time, you know, like, yeah, the sun is hot, you know, but it will not be in a fluoride, you know, like gas chamber that is, you know, confined in a room where there are 5 ACs, that is getting blasted with 5 ACs or something, and everything is a gas. And you talk about ozone, you talk about carbon, you talk about, oh, this oxygen is from a gas cylinder, so it's not good. It's been in that cylinder for quite a long time. And then, of course, I don't know. I mean, it's supposed could have, and then you expect that there has to be AC in the toilet, there has to be AC in the dorm, there has to be AC when you sleep, and what do you breathe? You say you breathe oxygen, okay. Where's the vitamin D coming? It comes directly from the sun's rays. The sun's rays has to I mean, you know, like produce vitamin D, which is good for your bones. Or by the time when you reach 50 years, or when you cross 60 years, you have, I don't know, I don't want to say anything. Just say the bones are not healthy. Okay. So, and the people who are just laboring and doing some kind of a mechanical job outside, their bones are strong. They can run. They can run if somebody pickpocketed them in 80 years, when they're 80, and somebody pickpockets you because they see you cannot run, you cannot even walk. Your bones are weak. Why? Because you confined yourself in the AC room, which had no passage or you know, option to be exposed to the natural sun. Basic medicine. You don't have to swallow it, you don't have to drink it, you just have to stand there, and the rest will be done by your own skin, without your knowing, without your control. And it doesn't have to ask you when to stop. It just happens, and you'll enjoy your old age. How about that? For free. You don't have to go to the doctor. The doctor, I need an x-ray. Okay, x-ray, $500. Medicine, another $500. Second visit, another $500. Second opinion, $700. Right? So I'm just saying, I mean, I would just bluntly say, keep the villages away from modernization. But I hope I have explained what I mean by that. It's not like don't do any mining, don't do any. If I mean, about mining, it's a different thing. Because I say It's mostly with all the farmers, and you'll have the carpenters, you have the blacksmith, that will be quality. They will not be influenced by technology. Even if the sun doesn't go on, I mean the power goes off in the urban city, you still have the blacksmith coming from the villages who does not depend on a technical device. He knows how it's done, right? He can almost tell the temperature without having a thermometer or something like that. If he's a, let's say if he's a blacksmith, I'm talking. He could look at the cow and say, okay, the cow is not feeling well. You could see he could see the way the cow is walking. Okay, I think the cow is pregnant. They don't need a ICU. They don't need EMR scan. You know, it's good to have such people. Tomorrow you have a power failure. Don't worry. You have the village. You could you can recruit somebody from the village. They have the carpenter. They will have the natural. I mean, they'll be ready to work without the machines, without the driller machine that need electricity or something. They'll be doing the manual working. They'll have the manual tools. That's how they have done. That's how they have been. It's normal for them. And of course, I'm not saying they'll like I said, they won't. I mean, it's not like they will deny. I'm not going to let you infringe on my property. I mean, I'm not proposing that. I'm not supporting. I'm not suggesting that. I'm saying a farmer will very likely understand if the produce is coming from the land that he owns. He has been serving the community. He's serving the society by producing crops like maybe corn or maybe pineapples and things like that. He would perfectly understand if somebody comes, some real authorities come and tell him there is oil, there is diamond, there is steel, there is iron, there is cobalt, there is lithium in his land. In his land, he would perfectly understand, because as a real spiritual, sane, SANE, sane farmer, he would understand. Okay, if my land is having something else to give to the society that can be beneficial, can be used to the betterment of the society of people, and I can also have a better compensation, let it be. Because how the hell has the harvest been happening? Harvest been happening from the land, and that's why the land has value. Now the land has more value because of some minerals like marble or perhaps a granite or something. Let's just say. You think he's not going to say? He's going to say, no, I only plan on serving the society with pineapple. He's not going to say that, right? I'm going to serve. I'm only going to, give the society sugar cane. I decided it is not going to be iron. He's not going to say that. It's not going to be coal. Huh? The coal. I mean, it's been the coal or the iron has been in the land since he was born, even before that. So if he's going to get compensated and it's going to be useful for the society, it's going to be like his own contribution in a way, and he's going to feel proud, he's going to feel better when he gets the rightful compensation. So, of course, with that kind of an understanding, with that kind of natural, organic, people-to-people understanding, mining can be allowed in the villages. You don't have to, I'm not talking about stopping or preventing having a protest in the village or anything like that. I'm not instigating it. I mean, I hope I'm not instigating, giving any bad ideas. It's not. I mean, that's not my intention. So, yeah. And if it's about if you want to have any mobile system, mobile signal system, just have a radio signal that is 2G, or try to have a separate individual radar, what do you call that, signal towers specific to the house, just like Wi-Fi, that does not go beyond the house. Okay, I mean, you still have this optic fiber and all that, right? And let there not be any mobiles, Let them just have post offices or any landline telephones. Okay, just it has to be like a spa. It has to be like an escapade. It has to be like a retreat. Okay, away from technology, away from digital signals, away from microwaves, away from possibly harmful 5G, 4G, extensive, intensive radio waves, UV. I mean, of course, you have UV and infrared from the sun, but this is all like engineered to serve a different purpose, a mechanical purpose, to carry your what you say to your auntie 50 miles away or something like that. That can be suspended for at least 2 days, right? Yeah, yeah. It's not just about your mental health is going to have an impact on your physical health. So, better. I mean, it's not like mental health. Oh, it's just going to be about mental health. I can take care. Yes, you can take care. If you have pressure, it could be taken up. I mean, the pressure can be, if you cannot handle a particular pressure, but you're just putting up a brave face, you could have a myopia. The pressure can have its effect on your eyes. The pressure can have an effect on your hearing. The pressure can have an effect on your hair fall. The pressure can have effect on your digestion. So mental health is not just one subject, secluded subject. It's an inclusive subject. It can have even maybe have a impact. It could even impact your genes, or it could even impact your skin color or something. Okay. You could maybe you'll just sometime bite yourself, bite your tongue, bite your lips when you're eating 2-3 times or something. I mean, yeah, these are all like side of the like expressions of your pressure that you're handling, and you're trying to have a like lighter mood or something. Keep your face calm and things like that. Trying to handle pressure, high pressure. You may handle it. People around you may not notice it. You may be doing a very good job of hiding it or masking it, but your eyes will. It would probably have an effect on your eyes. It does. It could. I'm not saying it will, but these things can be. So I'm saying let's not take the mental health or mental balance, tranquility, peaceful mind so shamelessly, indifferently. Let's not be so obviously ignorant or neglected, willfully neglected. So that's what I had to say. That keep the villages a place for happiness. You don't have to have dolphins in amusement parks. You don't have to pay any extravagant money. You don't have to spend millions, okay, on safety issues like a roller coaster. By the way, safety of roller coasters is not the same in every country. Okay, just for general awareness, let me just say for general awareness, the safety of roller coaster is not the same around the world. Okay, it can be taken for granted if it's completely about paying back the loans and the money and profiteering going on. Basic, simple. You'll have to worry a lot. Yeah, I mean, if worst comes to worst, you'll have a lot to worry about that. So you don't need all that. You wake up in the morning, the birds start chirping. You wake up as the hens they say cuckoo or something. The cock says cock-a-doodle-doo. You just have like a resort feeling of being in a kind of a spa resort. In a spiritual retreat. So keep the village calm, clean, pristine surrounding. Don't try to modernize like in a FOMO manner. Okay, nobody's gonna, thinking somebody's gonna miss something. No, you're gonna miss something real serious. If you think that, oh my god, let me make the village another city because it's 5 kilometers away from the city should also be a city. No, doesn't have to. You can consciously choose, okay, and keep it not exactly the way it is, but in a very profoundly consciously healthy, organic, and not very modernized, so that you have a cyber crime happening every hour. Okay, in a modern city, I would say maybe you're having 5 cyber complaints every hour. Let's just say on an average or something. There are some special cases, worst case scenarios out there. It can't be avoided. There's a mobile phone tower constantly operating, always on the go, always functioning, no matter whether you switch on the Wi-Fi or not. What are you thinking? And then you complain of cancer. Oh, there's a miracle drug. There's a new cure for cancer. Who found it? There's a new cure for cancer. Oh, that's good news, you see. Modernization, I told you. Oh, really? How many people have access to that medicine? And then you say medical tourism. Oh, yes. Yeah, baby. Right? And what about, yeah, baby, about this Wi-Fi tower? No, yeah, baby, for that? You say, yeah, baby, for that. You say, yeah, baby, for this. And what would you not say, yeah, baby, for? You just say, yeah, just about, yeah, baby, for anything that's modern, that doesn't say moo and give you milk? What are you talking about? Just be real. It's not like I wouldn't say you cannot live without cows. I'm not talking giving any taglines. Just be sensible, right? Especially villages with like a decent forest cover, greenery, and hills and mountains, having natural, fresh seasons, rainfall, everything. Primitive, but like pretty rather manageable drainage system that doesn't interfere, that doesn't take a long route ahead, that doesn't go into a plant, like water treatment plant that covers 8 acres or something like that, taking up the land and still stinking the whole area or something like that, and giving people an excuse to make a mess around the wall or things like that. And garbage easily gets disposed either by the soil. Not much of plastic. Keep the plastics away from the village. These things should be both conscious and also regulated. And this should be like not a government program. This should be like, well, this is how we keep our villages. This is how we like it. This is how like our parents told that we can have the villages. So we're having the villages like that. It was they didn't say, it's not like they said it would be good for us or anything. No, they said the villages should be like this. Please continue having the village in this way. So we're just following their footsteps. For a brighter future, no such thing. No such like promise. That sounds like a false promise or anything. You just have it like that. That's how villages should be. That's it. That's why they are called villages. They have fresh water. The soil is not polluted. It's fertile. It's easy to buy land. It's easy to buy property. And there the property does not go beyond ground or something. No, you cannot be very people appreciate if you are very simple. If you're good, if you talk to them, say hello, say good morning, and ask them, oh, did you get the mail? Yesterday I was not there. Did the postman deliver any mail? You have some conversation. Well, I didn't see him. Maybe he will deliver it today. Oh, jolly good. Thank you very much. Did you eat? Did you have dinner? You know, a place of. You don't have to go. Oh, I wish Facebook had a meta world. When would Facebook launch Meta? You don't need Meta. I'm just saying, and I'm not accusing Facebook. Let it be anything. Let it be headbook. Let it be handbook. I mean, let it be anything. Let it be like a circle, the movie circle, right? Social circle. You don't need that. And tomorrow there will be membership. There will be premium subscriptions, and they have benefits, the seasonal benefits, discounts. I mean, and then of course you have cybercrime, right? And then you feel upset. There's no sharing. Nobody's liking. Nobody's commenting. Nobody's reacting. Real people, real life, some animals, fresh air. That's it, right? You're just fooling yourself. You're sitting in a jail. You're sitting in a prison. You're in a cell. You just have a mobile phone, and you think, no, I'm not a castaway. No, I'm not in an island. I'm not stranded. No, I'm not a deserter. I'm not in a desert. Of course you're in a desert. You're in a digital desert. And made yourself. So, I mean, it's okay to fool yourself, but not, being ignorant about the possibilities of a physical one and the advantages, and not being able having an experience of the real, natural. It's not like a Truman Show, by the way, right? You don't like the Truman Show, but you like the digital one. I mean, that's hypocrisy. I mean, what kind of standards, what kind of moral intellect is that? Intellectual judgment is that? So you are fooling yourself. So you don't have to fool yourself. Keep all the urbanization, testing, and everything, confined or contained to the cities, and even if with the modern cities, and try to make sure that it does not obstruct or destroy any piece of history that may be 5,000 or 2,000 years old in that same modern city, even if it's been maintaining its modernity status of being active and busy for almost 1,000 years. It may have 1,000 years history. It may have 5,000 years history. It may even have 8,000 history from the time of Julius Caesar. But make sure you do not. Make sure that you do not, dislocate or detach, disavow, or disown, or discard something that belongs to the city's history, to the city's identity, or in some place, some time, some point of time. Make sure that you're not, like what they call, denying the city of its past or anything, or a piece of its past, which could be because of its value, of course, right? So either you completely start from the scratch with a modern city, or you keep the modernization within the city with respecting all its history for whatever it is, for all that it can be, may be, may not be, whether you know it or not. There can be a dinosaur egg, which you never know. There can be a dinosaur skull, which you never know. There can be a dinosaur horn that you never know. But make sure that you don't deny all that. The respect. The identity that it has in the city. You don't snatch it away from the city or something like that. Even if it's a modern bustling city, it's remained a place of significance for about 1,000 years or something. At the same time, do not really try to modernize and urbanize the village. Let there be a rural life, that there be a balance Let it remain natural and organic. And of course, even if it had any raw materials, be specific. Okay, be specific. Don't make the entire village, you know, a labor camp or something. Have something sensible. Have some sense. Okay, a place of sanity. Have some paradise. Ultimately, paradise, 5 kilometers, 7 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 10 miles, 8 miles away from the city. Keep the villages like paradise. Treat it like paradise. Okay, let them have their Wi-Fi, but don't have Wi-Fi signal about 5G or 7G or something like that. Let just be 2G that the birds can tolerate, that the locusts, the bees can tolerate. Okay, right? Don't have mechanical bees, robot bees. Don't have drones in the village. Don't pollute the village. Let there be a natural, gober garbage, not plastic garbage. Okay, disposable. Let them have disposable, biodegradable alternatives. You will have workers for that. They will be already having workers for that. They'll be doing it 24 hours. They'll be doing it like a main occupation there. Okay? Yeah. Respect the villagers for who they are, even if they are in the villages. But give them the education. I'm not saying don't give them the education, don't allow them into the cities. No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay? But there has to be a place. This place it cannot be abandoned. Because if you go on urbanizing, it will be abandoned. Okay? Still has to be encouraged. The village life has to be encouraged and appreciated for what all it can be, for what all it is, and what all it has been. Try to improve it with the transport, a little bit of transport here and there, a little bit of it should not be like a hub for cyber crimes. It should not have that potential. It's natural sun's rays, a very healthy diet of fish from the river, from the lake or something, and all the birds should signal, the hygiene, or all the birds should be a signal of the wealth of natural benefits a village beholds or possesses. So that's what I wanted to say. I hope all my voice has been recorded. I've been pushing my mobile on my belly for quite some time now. I hope they're all recorded. So that's what I wanted to say. Yeah, and like all the solar panels and all the Wi-Fi, should be like every man for himself. Every house shall have a well. Every house shall have some assortment of trees, useful trees. Every house shall have a cow for their own milk, to procure their own milk. Have a well for their own water. Shall have plantain trees. Shall have coconut trees. Okay, for their own sustenance. Shall have some medicinal trees as well if they want. Shall have a place for all this, and shall have a place for like I said, cow shed and things like that if they want to pet animals. But all these things in a natural environment. Let them have. Do not destroy the traditional houses or whatever styles they have. Let them not become chasing dreams, chasing the dreams of Joneses. Let them be who they are, what they are. Be respected for what they are. Happy for what they are. You should be happy for what they are, who they are. And let them not be driven to think that they are they've lost anything by not being the Joneses, not being Richie Rich or something, right? Okay, it's already 1.5 hours, so I think I need to check whether all the voices are being recorded. So that'll be all. Thank you all. I hope sorry for being the dragging and being a chatterbox all this while. But I hope the idea was worth it. I hope I have explained it everything clearly, if not concisely. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day. Until next time. Bye.